Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Want to feel more open and experience less tension in the body? Here are a mix of common and innovative ways to soften the tissue, increase range of motion, and release tension using the foam roller. So let's get started. Let's begin by rolling all the way down longwise on our roller, making sure that your head is completely supported at the end of the roller, as well as your hips and low back, maybe even your glutes. So you should be able to fit on that roller. We're going to bring the fingertips out to the side about 45 degrees. Just the fingertips are touching the floor, not the arms or the elbows. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then we're going to walk our feet all the way in together so the feet and the knees are touching. Now you're going to bring your right knee up to 90 degrees and take a breath in and fill the belly. Feel the low back pressing into the roller. Now take pressure off of your left foot on the floor. It's still touching the floor, but there's not a lot of pressure in that left foot. Then you're going to take your right foot, keep the knee bent, just tap the floor, and then bring it back up to 90 degrees. And then repeat that a few times. So you might feel the core firing up. It's going to challenge your balance a little bit, up and down, nice and slow and controlled. Again, if you find yourself pushing into your left foot on the floor, just lighten up the pressure. If you feel anything in the low back, then you can add a little bit of support with the foot on that floor. One more time. Pull that knee back up to 90 degrees, and then extend that leg straight to the front of the mat, but not letting it touch. Keep it straight out. Hold that position just for a moment. Check in with the body. Feel that core working. Then reach your left arm way over your head. Again, finding your balance. If you fall off the roller, you only have 6 inches to fall. You can just climb back up. Pull the hand and the knee together to touch right about the belly, and then extend it back out. Now check in with your left foot on the floor. Very little pressure on that left foot. Slowly extend the arm and the leg. Slowly bring them back together to tap. Extend and bring them back in. Extend and bring it back in. 2 more times. Extend. Think about your back pressing into the roller. 1 more time. Extend, bring it back in. Hold onto the knee. Just give it a squeeze. Pull it into the chest. And then very slowly we're going to release that foot back to the floor. Draw the feet and knees back together, fingertips on the floor. Lift your left knee to 90 degrees at the hip and the knee. Now think about your right foot pressing into the floor, but it's not. Now it's going to lighten the pressure, barely touching the floor. It's on the floor, but not supporting anything, just kind of floating there. Then bring that left foot down slowly, tap the toe on the floor, bring it back up. Again, using those core muscles, slowly tap it down, bring it back up. Tap it down, and be mindful of the low back, no space under there, pushing it into the roller, down and up. And notice if you started pushing into that right foot, lighten the pressure on it. Down and up. You should feel your obliques, your core working. Down and up. Slowly down and up. Tap it. We got 2 more to go. Down and up. And 1 more. And then hold it up. Now slowly extend that leg to the front of the mat, holding it off the floor. And remember that right foot barely touching. Reach the right arm overhead. So really challenging the core and our balance here. Pull the left knee and the hand to touch, and then extend them back out slowly. Left knee, right hand, pull them in slowly, tap right above the belly, extend out. Embrace any shakiness, in and out. Pull in and out. In and out. 2 more times, in and out. Last one. And out. Now pull the knee in, just give it a squeeze, hug it in. And then slowly release the feet to the floor. So the feet are still pretty close together. Maybe walk them in, touch the knees, and then heel toe one little step out. So the knees and the feet are pretty narrow. And then bring those arms up to the sky. If you still feel wobbly, feel free to walk your feet wider. And we're going to reach the right arm overhead, left arm to the hip, and then switch. And then switch, massaging along the shoulder blades. Again, still using the core. Maybe the glutes are firing to find your balance. One more time. And then we bring the arms up to the center, palms face in, and then open wide like a T, and then bring the arms across the body like you're going to give yourself a hug, and then open wide, and then the opposite arm goes on top. Give yourself a hug, and then out to the side 2 more times. Each time switching up the arm on top on that hug. Last one. And then open the arms wide. Let them just rest to the side. Take a breath in, expand through the belly and the chest. Notice if there's any tension going on through the chest wall or the biceps. And then sweep your arms overhead. Backs of the hands stay down on the floor as close as you can. Sweep the arms overhead. Stretch it out. Hook your thumbs. Really reach those arms. And then unhook the thumbs. Keep the arms open and wide. Slide them back down, palms up towards your hips. And then sweep them up again. One more time. Sweep the arms down. And sweep the arms up. And then bring those hands next to the body. Good. You can lift your head and roll off the side. Lift up nice and tall. And then we're going to bring that roller behind us. And we're going to just transition to roll the upper back. So you're going to lean back around the shoulder blade area. So you want to be like mid shoulder blade area, not too low, not too high. We're not rolling the low back or the neck right now. We're going to bring the fingertips behind the ears. So we're not interlacing and cranking on the neck. You're opening up, lengthening through the neck. Again, you don't want to roll the vertebrae of the neck anyways, or the low back. So you're going to lift the hips, and you're going to roll to the top of the shoulder blades and towards the bottom, anywhere that rib cage connects, so you have support. Once we get past that rib cage and down into the low back, sometimes if you have any bulging discs or degenerative discs or issues going on down there, it can exacerbate it, so you want to avoid it with the roller. There's ways to get to the low back, but that's a whole nother video. Keep on rolling back and forth. One more. And then we're going to lower our hips to the floor. Keep that roller right in the middle of those shoulder blades. See if you can curve your body backwards over that roller. Slide your hips to the right so you can drop over onto your left hip. Stack the knees to the left. Roll onto your left shoulder blade and all the way into that armpit. Good. You're going to take your right hand, hold the top of your head. Bring your left hand down by your leg. So you're leaning onto your left back of your arm and into that lat, which is right behind that armpit. And you're just going to slide your body up and down. It's like to the front and back of your mat, so you're getting into the back of that arm. Now, option, if you want a little more pressure, you can lift your right knee, press the foot into the floor, and lift your hips up and get a little more range of motion and more pressure. If that's too much, keep the hips down and just make it a couple inch roll. Try turning your palm upward if it's not as you roll, and then try turning your palm down. Notice the difference. One more roll. And then you're going to lower your hips, restack those knees, bring the left elbow behind the roller. You can let go of your head with the right hand. Place the right hand on that roller right in front of you. So the armpit is on top of the roller. If you're missing lymph nodes, I want you to lean backwards so you're not getting into that space. We don't want to cause lymphedema. And then again, we're going to roll ourselves forward and back, up and down, like front to back of the mat, and use that right hand on the roller to move it. So you're just sliding your hips and your upper body just slightly. Your elbow's probably off the floor a little, or you can keep it on the floor. You just can't move as easily if the elbow's on the floor. Just getting into that area. Now you're going to rock and roll forward and back, like side to side, I should say. So like rotating your chest towards the roller, going into the armpit and back into the shoulder blade. If you're missing the lymph nodes, just stay backwards and make it a smaller range of motion into that shoulder blade. Otherwise, you can go all the way into that chest wall. One more. Excellent. Now we're going to roll all the way towards our back again. Open up the chest. Hips are on the floor, feet flat, knees bent. Now you're going to keep your chest open, keep your left elbow towards that roller, but drop your knees, just your knees to the right, so you're stretching through that left armpit and left chest wall. And find your breath. One more breath. And then slowly bring the knees back up. And then you're going to realign your body, walk your feet in, lift your hips off the floor, and let's roll the upper back again. This time we're going to pull the elbows in towards the forehead, tuck your chin slightly, and roll the upper back. So you get a little into those muscles more along the spine. If this is painful or you can't breathe, then keep your arms open or take a break from rolling, or even just leave your hips on the floor and open close with the chest open and the back on the roller. One more, and then we're going to lower the hips, open the elbows nice and wide. You're going to scoot your hips slightly to the left and drop into your right hip. So now that you are on the right, you're going to take your left hand, place it on top of your head, bring your right hand down by your hip. So the back of the arm is on the roller, and you're just going to slide your body forward and back, like up and down, front to back of the mat. So you're getting behind that arm, into that lat, behind that armpit. Maybe in the tricep, palm up, try palm down, palm up again. And then from here, we're going to bring that elbow behind the roller, release your top left arm, place it on the roller, right elbow's on the floor. And now again, you're going to roll yourself, use that hand to move the roller as it rolls to the front and back of your mat. Your elbow's off the floor as you just do a gentle rotation. Again, same thing with lymph nodes. If you're missing lymph nodes, stay backwards in the shoulder blades, not putting any extra pressure. If you want more pressure, you can always lift your left knee, place the foot flat, and slide even deeper and bigger range of motion down into that lat, up into that tricep. Go with what feels good to you. If it causes extreme pain in the shoulder, then obviously you would put less pressure and not push it. Now from here, you're going to restack your knees, lower your elbow to the floor, and then draw your chest wall towards the roller, and then roll backwards into your upper back or shoulder blade. So you're rocking forward and back from side to side on that roller. Two more times, forward and back, and just notice if you have any trigger points, anything that goes up into the shoulder. Last one. And then from here, you're going to keep holding onto the head, rotate your body, center these shoulder blades on the roller again, fingertips behind the ears. Now from here, you're going to keep your right elbow close to the roller, but you're going to drop both knees to the left. Just getting a nice little stretch, making sure your fingertips are behind the ears or the head so you're supporting your neck. And find your breath. You want this to feel really good. And then slowly open up. Bring the knees back up. Keep the chest open. Bring your forearms to the roller and slowly push yourself all the way up. Knees bent, feet flat. Bring both fingertips behind you on the roller. So your palms are down, fingers are facing the back of the roller there. Good. You can straighten out your legs if you would like, and then just open up that chest. Maybe looking out in front of you. See if you can roll that roller back just a tiny bit. And then bend your knees, place your feet flat, sit up nice and tall, and then roll that roller forward and back. Just feeling that stretch through the arms, through the chest wall. Just a gentle roll forward and back. So your fingertips are going towards the floor. Palms are on the roller. One more. And then we're going to release and reverse the fingers. So turn your fingertips to face your body and bend your elbows. Push your elbows backwards as you lean back into it. So you're getting a little extra stretch through the front of that shoulder. Don't go too far because you don't want to overstretch there. If you've got shoulder issues going on, this might be a little uncomfortable if you go too far. And then straighten the elbows, lengthen through the spine. And then one more time, bend the elbows and then come back up. Be mindful that your shoulders are not squishing into your ears. Keep them pushed down. It's not a big range of motion. A couple more times, bend and straighten. Getting a little shoulder stretch and a little wrist stretch. Last one. And then release. So climb on up on that roller. Lean to the left. Place your left hand behind you, both feet on the floor, and let's roll that left glute. So we're just releasing tension in the body, really opening things up today is our goal with the roller and with some of these stretches. We warmed up the core, and then we just start really opening things up. It was kind of the flow so far. More to come. We still got to do the quads to really open up down through those hips and help our knees. Now, if you have wrist issues, feel free to go to your knuckles, or you can always use a yoga block, or you can drop to your elbow. Now, that left leg, the one that we're leaning on, I want you to lift it off the floor and pull that left ankle across the right thigh and roll some more to the top and bottom of the glute. You might find those speed bumps or trigger points. I call them speed bumps. So that fascia tissue, we want to massage it out. If you find a little speed bump, maybe pause on it and pull that knee up and down. Massage it out, releasing the tension, improving our mobility as we soften that tissue. Keep pulling it. Keep moving and rolling. Almost there. Last roll. Up and down. Hopefully you found some spots and release some of that tension in the glute. All right, so from here we're going to sit on the floor. Let's do a quick stretch of that glute. So you're going to straighten the right leg, pull the left leg across the right thigh, and just give it a hug. Now, if your legs go this way, you can also bring your right heel, bend the knee, and bring your right heel to the left glute. Optional. If you feel like you're kind of coming off of the glute and falling over, or your foot doesn't go, then just keep the legs straight. So figure out what works for you. You can hold on to the roller, you can have your hand on the floor, but really stretch through that left glute and hip. Find your breath, sit up nice and tall. You want to hold the stretches for 10 seconds is the shortest, 20 is better, 30 is best. We're not going to hold for that long today just for time's sake. But as you practice your stretches, after rolling, super important to try to get that blood flow to whatever area you just rolled and hydrate that tissue, and that happens when you hold those stretches a little longer. And then release that left leg. We're going to get back up on the roller and go to the right. So now you're up on that right glute, right hand behind you, feet flat on the floor, knees bent, and we're going to roll to the top and the bottom of that glute. You might notice a difference between the right and left side. A few more, maybe you're right dominant, might have more speed bumps, roadblocks, that's what I call them. Those tender spots in the glute, those little knots that we want to get out. Same thing with the wrist here. Feel free to be on your knuckles, use a yoga block, go to your elbow. Go all the way to the sits bones and then all the way to the top of the glute. Now then we're going to find the middle of the glute, lift that right leg off the floor, cross the ankle over the knee if that works. If your knee doesn't bend that far, maybe just hold the thigh. If you pull that knee in a little tighter, it pulls the tissue and you'll feel that glute. If it's too much, then you don't have to bend the knee. These are all just suggestions, what might work for you. A couple more rolls, and if you find that trigger spot, pull that knee up and down. Don't forget to go all the way to the bottom and to the top of that glute. One more roll. Now you're going to uncross that right leg. We're going to sit on the floor, extend the left leg, and pull that right leg across the left thigh. Sitting up nice and tall, hugging that right knee. Another option, again, is to pull your left foot by your right glute by bending that left knee. And just give it a squeeze. Feel that nice, wonderful stretch in the glute, the hip. You want this to feel good. You can hold both hands. You can have a hand behind you as a kickstand. Finding your breath. Notice the tension in one hip and glute compared to the other. How does this side feel? Does it feel a little more tense? Maybe it's a little looser than the other one. Does it surprise you? It's like, oh, I'm feeling more to this side than the other. We all have a tighter side. All right, now we're going to release that knee. Go ahead and unwind those feet. Like I promised, we're going to quads next. So we're going to flip over and we're going to go into an elbow plank with the roller under the quads right above the knees. So turn on over, place your elbows on the floor so that roller is right above the knees. We don't go over the kneecaps, don't go over the joint there. See if you can relax your legs as much as possible, and then you're just going to move yourself forward and back 1 inch above the knees. And your feet are about hip distance apart here. And from here, I want you to slightly lean your body weight to the left, just a little bit onto that left leg as you roll forward and back 1 inch. Then I want you to lean to the right and move forward and back 1 inch. And you're just doing probably 2 to 4 rolls forward and back on each side. And then we walk the elbows back 1 inch and then forward and back, a little centered with the weight. Then shift your body weight just slightly to the left, forward and back. So you're just focusing mostly on that left leg. And then shift to the right, forward and back. And then center, walk the elbows back 1 inch so that roller moves up the thigh 1 inch, forward and back. So we're just gradually moving up the thigh, massaging out any of that tension that might be in there. Shift your body slightly to the left, forward and back. And again, breathing, relaxing the tissue, your legs as much as possible. Shift to the right, slight pressure, more on the right than the left. You might start to notice a difference. Back to center, Walk the elbows back another inch. The roller moves up the thigh. So forward and back with the body pressure on equal on both thighs. Now shift your weight slightly to the left, forward and back. And then to the right. So we're only doing a couple rolls, forward and back. We're getting there to center, and then up a little higher, walk the elbows back, forward and back. So you're going to continue doing this up to the top of the thighs where you can't go any higher. Lean to the left, forward and back. Lean to the right. I'm hitting the wall. And then one more time. And again, if you have longer legs, maybe you can keep going up. A little to the left. A little to the right. If you're already done and you've hit the top of the legs, you can't go any higher, you're going to slide off, and we're going to take a child's pose and stretch out those quads. So go ahead and finish up, and then separate your knees, feet together, bring the roller in front, place your palms on the roller. We're just going to melt and relax here. Feel that stretch through the armpits, through the back, through the knees, all the way over, because those quads, we rolled and stretched them out there, and then slowly roll up. From here, we are going to go back to the quads one more time. So remember, if it hurts, it means you need it. The good news is the more we roll, the less the toll. Less the toll on the knees, the less the toll on the hips. So let's jump back in. You're going to go in the same position we were at with the elbows on the floor. And then the knees, the feet about hip distance apart. Try to relax the legs. Now this time I want you to lean your body weight to the left and gently drag or push your body backwards so the roller slowly glides up the left leg. Very slow. Your right leg is on the roller, but just not as much pressure. When you get to the top and you can't get any higher, you're going to slowly pull your body forward so it goes down that left side. Most of the pressure there. Good. And then when you get to the top of your mat or the roller to the top of the knees, you're going to shift your body weight just slightly and not a lot. You're not like dropping your hips or turning too much. Just a little bit of body weight on the right, and gently start to push your body backwards. So the roller goes up the thigh. Nice and slow. You might still be feeling something on the left because it's still on the roller, but mostly on the right. Think of squeezing a sponge, mushing it out so it can rehydrate. When you get to the top, you're going to slowly go backwards so you bring that roller back down by the knees. Nice and slow. Noticing the difference on each leg. Notice the difference on the way up and the way down. When you get back to the knees, you're going to center your body weight. This time you're going to tuck your toes, and I want you to walk your knees nice and wide. Remember, this is the goal is we're going to relieve tension and open up the body, open up our front of the body. This will help, even though it might hurt a little now. We're going to bring bend the knees, bring the feet together. Maybe you can go a little wider. Engage that core, pull the shoulders away from the ears, and then slide your body very slowly backwards, extending through the shoulders. Maybe you bring your elbows back with you, or maybe you just use the core, leaving the elbows where they are, and then engage the core as you pull your body forward. So you're gliding the roller up and down, a little bit more on the inner front of the thighs. One more time, slide it backwards. Anybody have any knots more on one side than the other? And then forward one last time. Once you get back forward, I want you to straighten the legs, make adjustments so you can bring your feet all the way together. Slide your knees off the back of the roller. Walk your hands close. Now your toes are tucked under here. Knees are together, and slide your hips towards your heels with the toes tucked. and then the legs together, hands on the roller, and then start to fold forward, belly to the thighs. It's a nice little stretch here. And then release. Keep the roller in front, and what we're going to do is we're going to roll it all the way out in front of us, and you're going to slide down onto your belly with the roller out in front. Bend your left knee and grab hold of your foot. If you cannot reach your foot, you can bring your chin onto your hand. If you cannot reach your foot, then lay on your side and bring that left leg behind you, and you want to push the hip forward so you're stretching through that hip flexor. So that's an option. You can also use a yoga strap or a block. And just feel that nice stretch. Maybe walk your knees closer together. So you really want to open up the front of the body here. Stretching through the hip, the quad, the knee. Another option is to place your palm and your forearm out in front of you, and then just to add a little lift with the upper body. So just feeling that lengthening, and then slowly release, lower the leg, release the upper body, bring your left arm across, place your chin on your hand, reach back for your right foot. And again, if you can't reach your leg, you can always bring it behind you, and what you do is you let the inside edge of your foot push onto the floor and push your hip forward, so you're stretching through that hip flexor. Or you can lay on your side and try to grab your foot that way, but you still want to get that hip and the knee in a plank, like bring the knee behind that hip. Now another option is you can press up through the upper body, through the arm on the floor. You can pull the heel to the glute and just notice the difference. Finding your breath. One side might lift higher than the other. And then we're going to release that leg. Bring the hands next to the body. And you're going to press up. Use those muscles. Separate your knees, feet together. Let's find our child's pose. Grab your roller. Have it nice and close so you can place your hands on it. And just try to melt. Maybe a shift side to side if you need it to release anything. Finding your breath. One more breath. And then slowly lift, release. You're going to turn around and you're going to place, now we're going to go to the neck and the back of the head. So we're going to bring that roller behind our neck. You're going to lay on the roller like a pillow. You're going to lay all the way back down. So a lot of times we rolled the back and we opened up through the chest on the beginning, but sometimes the tension can go all the way up into our neck from maybe sitting at a computer or just posture, driving, texting, all that stuff affects our posture. So with the head on the roller, it's like a pillow, knees bent, feet flat on the floor, so we protect the back. Back is pushed into the mat. You can bring your fingertips to the outside edges of the roller if you have a long one and it feels more comfortable, like it's going to slip out. Now I want you to turn your head. We're going to start on the left side. I'm doing everything left first today. Bring your head, turn it to the left. Drop your chin towards your chest. And then bring the roller, maybe you have to adjust it, so it's hitting the bone on the back of your head there, on the side, left side, and a little bit of the muscle, the soft tissue right below it. So you can kind of feel around with your chin down and then start to lift your chin and lower. So you're nodding yes. The roller back there, back of the neck, tip of the skull, the occipital, and then find the neutral, just let your head relax and draw your head side to side, just a gentle little one, like you're saying no, because we're not going into the vertebrae of the neck at all. We're way to the side of it, but not directly on the side of the neck. You don't want to be laying your head totally to the side. Don't want to cut off blood flow. That would be bad. And then we're going to go to the other side. So just lift the head gently as you turn your head to the right. And I want you to drop your chin down so you can find, again, that occipital bone, a little bit of that muscle, soft tissue below it, that occipital. And then a gentle nod, yes. Massaging out any of that tension. Find the center neutral part and draw your head gently side to side. Like you're saying no. Then you're going to lift your head slightly. You're going to bring it back to center. So now I want you to look up above you. Bring the roller a little higher so it's not touching any of the soft part of the neck. It's right behind the head. So when you rock your head from side to side, it would go maybe like right above your ear. Be careful of your hair. The roller will eat your hair. Just a gentle rock all the way to the right and all the way to the left. And you want this to feel good. It's massaging the back of the head. And then let your head stay to the left and nod yes. So it's right above the ear. And then gently turn your head to the right. Little nod yes. And then back towards the center, looking up at the sky or the ceiling. And then draw your chin towards your chest. Little neck stretch. Now with your chin down, draw your head just gentle rock side to side. Again, the roller is just on the back of the head, not the neck. And then lift the chin back up. And then from here, you're going to release the roller with your hands. Pull the knees into the chest. Give them a squeeze. Now you can roll to your side, or you can just roll straight up. You're going to bring your roller right behind you, and we're going to sit up on that roller. And just have your feet flat on the floor. Bring your fingertips behind the roller so they're facing the floor, palms are facing the front. They're on the roller but facing forward. Now turn your chin to the right side and drop it towards your chest. So you might feel a little stretch through that left arm. And now from here with your chin down, lift your chin slightly and try to turn your chin towards the right shoulder. And find your breath. Pull your knees in a little bit. Now start to turn your upper body slightly to the right as well. Maybe feeling that stretch through the left arm or shoulder, bicep, maybe the neck. Slowly release back to center. Palms are still on that roller. Start to draw your chin to the left side of your chest, dropping it down. Feel a little stretch through that right side now. Start to lift, turn, and lift your chin to the left shoulder now. Now add your body, upper left shoulder, start to pull it back. So your upper body turns slightly to the left. Feeling the stretch, maybe in that right side. Find your breath. And then back towards the center. Take a deep breath. Inhale, reach those arms overhead, touch the fingertips. Exhale, palms to heart space. Relax those shoulders. Feel the length of your spine. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.